Good evening, everybody, and welcome. My name is Sabir, and I run events here at the Strand. Before we launch into a discussion of Catana Chetwynd's newest book, In Love Pajamas, I'd like to share a little bit of history about the Strand. The Strand was founded in 1927 by Benjamin Bass over on 4th Avenue's Book Row. Stretching from Union Square to Astor Place, Book Row gradually dwindled from 48 bookstores until, after 94 years, the Strand is the sole survivor, now run by third generation owner Nancy Bass Wyden. We want to thank all of you for your support. Without our loyal community of book lovers, we wouldn't be here today, and we are truly appreciative of it. So, tonight we are thrilled to have with us Catana Chetwynd for the launch of her third book, In Love Pajamas. Catana is a self-taught traditional artist and the enthusiastic author of Catana Comics. She grew up in Saratoga Springs, New York, where she spent her time creating art and pursuing an education in psychology, until accidentally stumbling into the world of comics. Not only is her fiancé, John, the daily inspiration for her drawings, but he was also the one who suggested a comic series about their relationship in the first place. Thanks to his idea and his inspiring daily antics, Catana was able to pursue her childhood dream of being a cartoonist. She currently lives on the East Coast with John and their tiny, angry dog, Murph. Joining Catana in conversation and facilitating the Q&A is the Strand's Sophia Nalawi. Born and bred in Brooklyn, New York, Sophia grew up in a pop-up book house, so books just ended up being a continuous part of her life. She spends her time buying books she doesn't have space for, collecting old Pokemon cards, and daydreaming. She currently lives in Baltimore with a hedgehog named Blueberry. So, without further ado, please join me in welcoming Catana, John, and Sophia to the stage.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Sophia. I'm Catana.
I'm John.
And thank you guys for coming today. Before we jump into anything, I wanted to just go scooch closer to John. To go through some thank yous, because there's like a decent amount of them. Of course, the first thank you is to you guys. Thank you for taking time out of your night and for coming to hang out with us. The past couple of events we've done have been like incredibly fun. So we're like pumped for this. We're ready to go. And also thank you for buying the book and enjoying the book and just for being part of our lives. I always say to like everybody, we really think of you guys as like our friends. So it's like very fun to hang out with you guys. And then of course, I also want to say thank you to the Strand for having us here. We had an event at Strand last year, like almost exactly a year ago, which is crazy. And it was incredibly fun. And all of you New Yorkers lined up like down the street, and it was freezing cold and it was raining. And I will never forget that. So just thank you guys. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, so, and then I like to say thank you to John because we have multiple cameras set up today, and there's like technological things that are happening around me, and I am just blissfully unaware of them.
Set it up for me.
Pretty much. So thank you to IT guy, John. Yeah. So yes. And I'm going to go over how the event is going to run. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to do live drawing, and we're going to answer your questions at the same time. So we're going to do little like doodly drawings, and we're going to fill up my entire sketchbook page with stuff. So you can think about something you might want to see drawn, like Cactus King, or I'm just trying to think of random things. Pencil going to work, just anything you can think of. It can be comic related, it can be non-comic related. Whatever you want me to draw, I will pretty much draw it. And we will also answer your questions at the same time. And then at the end of this event, we're going to have a winner that will win this drawing piece of paper. So let's all hope that it comes out pretty good. Someone's going to own it. And just like miniature note, I'm going to draw in pencil today because I cannot commit to drawing in pen on a live stream, but I will be going over all the drawings in pen when we are done, and it will look good. And if I don't fill out this entire page by the end of this, then I'll go through the chat after the event and pick drawing requests that I find in there and fill up the rest of the page so that it's full.
Some bonus doodles.
Yeah. So even if I don't choose your doodle like during the live stream, rest assured it may be chosen after the live stream.
Don't fear, it might make it.
Don't fear. There's still a chance. Yeah, so and at the end we have giveaways to do, or raffles, prizes, whatever you want to call them. We have a bonus book to give out because we know this is a good giftable book. I'm sure there's somebody in your life that would like it. And we have a influencer box.
Oh, that's right.
Which we just got ours today. So it's very cool. There's a hot cocoa bomb in it. There's a sleep mask in it, which is like very high quality.
Cool, yeah.
And another book and a mug and stuff like that. And then the doodle page. So we have 3 things to ship out to you guys. And I think that's all I had to say.
I think you covered it.
Okay. So I think that's it. And we can start. Yeah.
There are 42 questions from our wonderful audience, so I'm sure there will be lots of things to draw. I'm just going to ask a couple quick questions, give some buffer to our audience so everyone can think about what they would like to see. But my first one is congratulations, this is your 3rd book. How did it feel? Has it been different from any of your previous publications? Was it the same process? Tell us more.
It's definitely... It's like the same but different, mostly because of COVID. We're used to being able to have book events in person and like see people in person and get to like physically shake like hundreds of people's hand in the same day and like talk to them about the book. So that part's definitely been different. But as far as publishing the book, it's been pretty much the same, which is me just like hiding in my little corner of the house all day, drawing on my iPad and sending them in, and then one day it becomes a book. It's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah. How long have you been drawing comics for? I know that you started off in psychology and then it was like surprise comics. But what was that transition like, and like what started it all?
So I started drawing the comics like kind of for fun, and then I was still in school. It was like 2016, late 2016. And then when the comics started like gaining traction, like we just started posting them on Instagram, and we didn't do like a ton of hashtags. We didn't promote anything. People just like started to find them and like them, and kind of went from there, which is crazy. It still blows my mind how it all happened.
It really is.
And that was thanks to John, because I did not have any intention of posting them. I was pretty much just making them like for him. But when they started gaining traction, I was still in school. I was still working. And at a certain point, it was just like I graduated and I was like, well, I could go and try to get a full-time job and do that whole thing that I was planning on doing, or I could take this like once in a lifetime chance and just like peace out and start drawing comics. So I was in a very, very, very like lucky position to be at a point in my life where I had just finished school and I didn't have to consider leaving like a full-time job to pursue this. It was everything just worked out in a way that I'm very thankful for, because there were a lot of factors that came together at once.
The timing really worked out well.
Yeah, it did. It really did.
It's like everyone's dream to sort of like, you know, make books and like make an income off of something you really love to do. So it's really amazing.
Yeah, we're thankful for it every day. Like, we're still in shock. So, and it's been years.
I'm sure, I'm sure the shock is always like you wake up just like, I can still do this. Yes.
Yep. And every time we have an event too, especially like, it's just hard on Instagram and on social media to put faces to names and stuff. And like seeing you guys like talk in the chat and like just be like real human beings is like just very cool. It helps like make you guys like real.
Yay. So I guess I'll like follow up with that of just say like how much, if any, has the comic changed from like the first strips till like now? Like, has it changed at all? Has it super drastically changed?
I think it's definitely changed. I think the thing that's changed the most about it is the art style. If you look at the first comics, even like the first book to this book, the comics look way different. The subject matter is pretty consistent. It's just John.
It's funny. I feel like the art style went through like different phases.
It did.
Like even just like gradually change. There was like a time period where you liked like a certain art style and everything.
Yeah,
it's cool to see.
Like the way how paleontologists can like figure out what year it was. Yeah, by going through the layers. Like you can like look at my comics and be like, oh, you see this small pupil era was like around 2018.
No, that's super cool. Like I feel like every artist goes through like changes when they work on a body of work for a long time. And you can like see exactly like you said, you can see like the transition.
Yep, it's still happening too. I'm sure I'm not done. I'm sure in a year I'll look back again and be like, wow, why was I doing it like that?
So one of the things I wanted to touch on was how frank your comics are. I find them really like refreshing and upfront, like sort of how you sleep, how you guys spend time with each other. It seems very like a very wonderful window into your relationship. Have you ever drawn a comic that you felt that you might have looked at and gone, this might be too personal? Did you post it anyway?
So there have like,
I don't think there's anything that's been too personal.
Right. I feel like we're pretty like open people. It hasn't hurt us yet. But there have been comics that didn't make it in just because like they didn't fit or I didn't end up liking them when they were done or something. But as far as posting them and being like reserved, we always like kind of wonder if there'll be a comic where people will say like, I don't know about this one. And it hasn't happened yet. I'm always amazed at the amount of times where I'm like, this thing is really weird that I do or that John does. And someone's going to say like, nope, missed it on this one. Nobody else does that. But like, luckily you guys are very similar to us. And you actually do these things that we do. I was saying in the last event, the one that always stands out to me is the one, actually recently there was one where I put my hands in John's sweatshirt to heat them up. And I was like, I don't know, this might like give people ideas, but I don't know if they like do this. And they did.
There's like a ton of people that do that. Yeah. It's crazy.
I guess like a follow-up to that would be, have you made a comic or a joke and you looked at it when it was finished and you went, I don't know if I can top this?
I don't think so. Not yet. I hope to make a comic one day that's so good that I feel that though.
Perfection.
Yeah. Just like retire then. Be like, that's enough. I'm calling it there.
Like I've hit my zenith. I am now the best.
I think Bill Watterson will hold that title for a long time.
I'll ask one last question and then we'll turn it over to the audience because we're at 51 questions now.
Nice.
Or requests. Do either of you or both of you have a favorite strip from this most recent book?
Ooh, from this most recent book.
If it's too hard from every but
I'm positive that
tough.
I do. Although it can be hard to choose because like a lot of times me choosing a favorite will depend on like how I feel that day. Like, am I feeling like one of the lovier ones? Am I feeling one of the funnier ones? Am I feeling like, I don't know. It definitely does depend on the day. And someone described it a couple days ago. It was like having to choose one of your favorite kids. And I was like, yeah, that is what it's like. Like, you can't choose.
I'm going to say it's tough for me because Catana always shows me when she finishes a comic, she'll like come running up and like show it to me. So I've gotten so used to seeing them as she finishes like actually making a comic that the cutoff of like what's after the book or before the, like it all blurs together.
Yeah, I know
like,
what you mean.
Exactly what's in the book.
Yeah, right.
One of the ones that is in there that I do really like is the one where like I'm at my computer and I have headphones on.
I was just looking at that one.
Yeah, and I think I'm like playing a game and you like say like, oh, I love you or something, and I don't respond.
Yep.
They like, come running up and like pull the headphones off me and like, yell it at me.
That happens a lot.
Happens all the time. I also work from home, so I like have headphones on all the time, or I'm playing games and have headphones on or whatever it is. So like, I always hear like a little Catana voice yelling from downstairs something at me, but I can't tell what she's saying.
What? Please repeat. Yes. Okay, I'm going to disappear as if by magic. My voice will be disembodied but present, and I'll start asking you questions. We've got a lot, so feel free to, there we go. I'm gonna go. Hello.
And I am ready to start drawing too whenever we.
So assuming I get this right, I'll switch over to our fancy drawing cam.
Yay.
All right.
I have, can you draw a nerdy Catana and John, Star Wars or Disney or Marvel? We love it over here.
Oh,
I was
that's
say
a
just
good
regular
idea.
nerdy. I feel like just keep me as I am.
Star Wars or Marvel or Disney? Yes. Which route should I go, though, is the question.
That is the question.
The world is your oyster.
It really is, isn't it? All right, I'm going to figure it out as I go.
Yay. We've gotten a lot of requests for corgis and hedgehogs and like different dog breeds. We got a couple requests for them. Merv.
Aww.
Murphy is here with us, by the way. He's underneath the desk right now, kind of afraid of the cameras and stuff. But at some point, I'm sure we're going to pull him up.
So, confession time. I've actually never seen Star Wars.
What?
Sorry.
Really?
I thought
Really?
you knew that. But I do know characters from Star Wars, so I think I'm going to go with that one.
Hey, I've only seen like 3 of the 9, so I
Okay. Okay.
You're in good company. I don't even remember which ones I go like, that one with that guy and that one.
It is tough.
That's all I know.
Yep. I just know the space buns.
Yeah, the space.
What's another character besides Leia? You have to help me out here.
Can you do Han Solo?
Okay.
I'll pull up a reference picture for you.
I can't pull off space buns in real life, so at least space buns character will be able to.
We have a couple of regular questions if you want me to ask while you draw.
Yeah, definitely.
That sounds good.
Cool. Let's see. How did you and John meet?
Hey, this is one of my favorite questions to answer.
So we met on Tinder.
Yeah, we met on Tinder. So I always like to say it can be done.
That's true.
But there's actually more to it than that. We started talking on Tinder, and we kind of talked for a couple messages, and then we stopped talking, or I stopped answering, just because it's Tinder, and like I wasn't taking it too seriously or anything. And then a couple weeks later, I was at a bar with a couple of my friends, and John was there. And I had never seen him in real life, but I knew it was him. And I knew this because he is so tall, and he kind of sticks up over a crowd like a periscope. Oh, he's got a vest on. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you saw that.
Okay, no, I didn't. Thank you. Okay, so he he was at the bar and there was like music and stuff. And I was like, this will be a good chance to talk to him in real life. Like, we didn't, the conversation didn't continue on Tinder because of me, but I was like, I didn't have anything against him. I was excited to talk to him. And so I spent the entirety of my night trying to gain his attention, which did not go well. We were making eye contact. I knew that he was seeing me, and yet he was not coming over to say hello. So finally, after like, okay, I was like at one point like dancing, and like I was like it was a crowded place, and I was like right near him, and he did not say anything. And so finally, my friend was frustrated, and she shoves me into John so I can get his attention, and I fall onto John, and then I fall onto the floor, and I'm on the floor. I look up. John turns around. I reach my hand out. John reaches his hand out, and I'm thinking, like, this is it. He's going to say hi. And he helps me up, and he looks me in the eye, and he says, sorry. And he, and he turns back around. But then I was like, I know you're from Tinder, right? And luckily, it was good stuff from there.
So I always let her tell her side of that story first. Because, again, from my perspective, she stopped talking to me on Tinder. So I was there with my friend, and he was like, I'm pretty sure that girl like keeps looking at you, like wants to talk to you or something. And I like recognized her. And I was like, no, she like blew me off on Tinder. She probably doesn't want to be anywhere near me right now. She definitely doesn't want to talk to me.
Sad.
There's a pretty big miscommunication there right from the beginning.
It worked out okay, though.
It worked out really well in the end, though.
Yeah, it's part of the journey. Oh, here's a good one. The fact that so many couples relate to you and John, how does it feel to have captured the essence of so many relationships?
It feels like surreal almost. And it makes me feel cool to know that we have so much in common with people that we've never met, who we don't live near, who we've never spoken to. Like, there's such like a connector between all of us that runs like, I don't know, so deep, just like the desire to like, and happiness that comes with like being a romantic or being in a happy relationship or a long-term or long-distance relationship. There's just so many people that like find joy in the same things we do, and it's
really crazy. We've like gotten messages from people like we don't even speak the same language as, or like anything. Like you wouldn't think we would have anything in common, but like we really do have so many things in common, and it's really been cool to see that from so many people.
Absolutely.
We got a couple Baby Yoda requests as well.
You want to know what's funny is I got a Baby Yoda request on our first live stream, so I have some practice with this one.
She's gonna be a pro.
I'll have to draw him in a different position this time. All right, let's see.
Pulling up a reference photo for her.
You can just have any up. I'm gonna.
I mean, there is no bad Baby Yoda.
This is fact. There is no.
Perfect. That's perfect. Okay.
What is your and John's go-to date night food?
Ooh. Jamaican.
It probably would be Jamaican.
Yeah.
One of our favorite restaurants is like a Jamaican place that we like. Neither of us really had ever had Jamaican food, I want to say, before we found this restaurant, and it quickly became our favorite.
Yeah. We also have a lot of cheese boards.
Santa's big into the cheese boards.
Yep. That's mostly me.
Sweet potato gnocchi is an all-time favorite.
Yep. Definitely like sharing foods though. I feel like it's just fun to like share foods together. Can't neglect pizza. We get pizza a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So we have a good array of things.
All solid choices.
Right?
Yeah.
So his nose is just like a little
tiny little nose.
Just like a little thing.
What do you do when you run out of inspiration, or are you always inspired by John?
So it took me a long time to come to terms with this, but now I have. Is that inspiration? I always thought that it would be kind of a never-ending fountain of inspiration as an artist, but that's definitely just like not how it works. And I've had to learn that like not being inspired is as much of the process as being inspired in a way. Like it's just part of being an artist is having times where you need to like sit and not do anything and like think, and I don't know. So my inspiration tends to come in waves. Like I'll have a week where I'm very productive and I'm drawing all the time, and then I'll have a week where I don't draw anything and I'm like, John, I don't know what to do. And then the next week it's back to normal again.
I was gonna say, I feel like in the beginning you used to really get that way, like just, I don't know, like what the word would be, like stressed, I guess, that you like weren't inspired and you like didn't know what you wanted to make. But I feel like lately you've embraced it a lot more and you're like, I'm just gonna go do some errands, like it'll come when it comes.
Yep.
And I'm sure that's got to be difficult to get used to that.
It is. It doesn't help that I'm definitely like most inspired at night. So a lot of times during the day, I'll feel like extremely unproductive, but then I'll start drawing at like, you know,
midnight.
Okay, so here's where I run into the problem with Baby Yoda. I feel like his eyes can be creepy when I draw them.
It's tough because they're just like pure black.
Right, they're just like black. I'm going to make them a little not black.
That's not creepy.
Okay.
No matter what, Baby Yoda is going to be cute. How did you and John get your angry little dog Murph? Is he a rescue?
Good question. Yes, he is a rescue. I actually came into the relationship with Murph. So John's had to adapt to being a dog father when we met.
I mean, to be fair, I've always loved dogs. I just didn't have a dog at the time.
Right. So Murph is a rescue. I always joke that I got him for like $20. He came from down south somewhere, I think Tennessee, and they brought him up to New York after he wasn't adopted down there. They found him as a stray, and they told me when I got him that he was between like 3 and 5 or 6 years old. And that was 6 years ago. So I've had him for 6 years, and he was between 3 and 6. So he's anywhere from like 9 to 12.
His age is such a mystery to us. He'll act like such a little old man sometimes, then other days he's like a little puppy running around. So we have no idea how old he is.
Yeah, he's hard to judge.
The advantages of not knowing you could be any age.
Right.
Yeah, right. I kind of wish I could be any age. Like, what if I just didn't know what year I was born? That'd be kind of cool.
Like, I'm young forever. That's
exactly. All right, Baby Yoda's done.
Nice.
Done enough anyway.
We got a couple requests for a corgi in a spacesuit.
Ooh, all right.
Do you need a reference for that?
Maybe just of a corgi, but I actually think I know.
I feel like you got
enough
this if you want to try
about
it.
what corgis look like.
Just like vaguely football shaped with small.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I was just trying to draw like a bean, so like same genre of shape.
Start with a potato shape.
Corgi in a spacesuit.
Let's see. Where do you like to be in your house when you sketch? Or do you have a designated spot, or do you float around?
So I actually do a lot of floating. Back when we lived in our very small apartment, I always thought that I wanted or needed a office space to work, and now I have one, and I've realized that as a artist, it's kind of nice to be mobile. So I do tend to float around a lot. I like to draw on the couch. I like to draw outside.
Yeah, you are.
Anywhere except my office.
Right. Like anytime I go looking for you, I can never find you. I just have to wander around to find where you're at.
Yeah, and like obviously when COVID wasn't a thing, like it's nice to be able to go somewhere, a park or like a coffee shop, stuff like that. Right now I'm forgetting what a corgi looks like. Okay, they've got like the middle thing.
Got big ears.
I love it. Do you have a particular go-to food for brainstorming ideas?
Ooh.
That's a good question.
No, but now I'm like, maybe I should make that part of my routine. Is like having some brain food items.
I feel like you probably subconsciously do have something.
I probably do. I'm always very inspired like at night, and now that question has me wondering, like, is that because I just had like a nice dinner and I'm nice and full? Is that why? Because in the morning we don't really eat breakfast or anything. We just have coffee, like 5 cups of coffee. I don't know if that's good for brain stimulation or not.
Good after saying that out loud. 5 cups of coffee.
It's probably why I don't have good ideas in the morning.
Hey, I have 1 cup and I like all my atoms vibrate. So
we're so desensitized at this point. We're drinking coffee and it's.
We'll make a pot at like midnight.
Yeah.
Like, 1 more cup.
Yep.
It's really bad.
Mm-hmm.
We also. There are many more requests from Murphy now.
Oh, okay. We'll definitely put Murph in there.
Yeah. So once you come up with an idea, how long does it take to make the comic?
It totally depends on the comic. I know that's kind of a lame answer, but some comics I draw, as you guys know, are like 3 panels, and it's just like me and John. Like in the same general area of the house or the same kind of framing the entire time. But sometimes I draw like multi-panel scenes where like a different thing is happening in every scene. And that can definitely take a while. And I would say on the lower end, it could take me like 2 hours, and then on the high end it could take me like 6 hours, I would say. Would you agree with that?
Probably. I feel like sometimes though you like to walk away from it for a little bit, like maybe pick it up the next day.
I do, yeah, especially if it's a long one.
Yeah.
Is this what dog legs look like? I don't think it is. I'm gonna try that again.
Little rabbit like.
Little like a rabbit. Murph, where are you? I need to see your legs.
Corky's got tiny little legs.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Give him little nubs.
Could be a universal spacesuit, though. I don't know.
True.
He looks good.
I like that.
There we go.
Was there a particular moment you knew you wanted to be together forever?
Ooh, I'll let you answer that one first.
I don't know if I would say there's a particular moment, but I feel like it always sounds so cheesy, but like right from the beginning, I just like, I don't know. I feel like I just knew. We both always like to joke too. It was like, I think it was like the first night we were like saying goodnight and I was kissing Catana and it was like pretty late at night. And this like random guy on a bicycle and like flying by us and just yelled out, "You make a cute couple." And
yeah, we were like standing by my car.
Right. We're both like, was that like our first sign, like the first night by some random guy on a bicycle?
No one has ever yelled at us that we make a cute couple since then.
Never since.
That was the one and only time.
So maybe that was our sign.
Corgis have little tails, right?
That's the universe telling you.
Right. Okay. All right. I'm going to draw Murphy now.
Yeah. Okay. During COVID, have you guys gone to binge any shows? Do you watch shows together or do you each have your own show that you like to watch by yourself?
I would say we watch most together.
Mm-hmm.
There's maybe a few that you like that I'm not into. But for the most part, we both really like kind of darker, like thriller, crime type movies and shows and things like that, I guess.
Yeah, I would say so.
We always have such a hard time thinking about all the shows we've binged on because for a while we were going for like a show a week or something crazy. I watched all of Mindhunter. That was really quick.
Yeah.
What else? You probably know better than me.
Mindhunter. We really liked Ozark. We've seen that a couple of times.
That was really good. Big
Little Lies. Really, really good. Oh God, there's like a ton.
Through a lot.
Yeah. Oh, The Morning Show on Apple TV. Dark in like a different way, but very, very good.
Our classics are always like Forensic Files and all those, as far as like crime shows go. You always fall back to those.
Also big Seinfeld fans.
Watching a lot of Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm lately. Been in a Larry David kick for some reason.
Let's see. I'm thinking about how I want to draw Murphy. Let's start over.
Murph.
Oh, no.
Sorry, Murph, for starting over.
We'll definitely pull Murphy up at some point too. He's sleeping below the table now, and he gets grumpy when he gets picked up. So it'll be a short little stint at the end.
We're gonna switch to sleeping.
There have been many demands for a cameo.
He'll definitely make an appearance.
Absolutely.
We picked him up doing a live stream the other day, and he was so tired he could barely balance on my lap. He was kind of just like falling asleep.
Oh, poor guy. Wait for him.
Are there any comics or comic strips that inspire you? Are there any artists you look up to?
Absolutely. I was a huge comic fan growing up. I really, really liked that my top ones were Calvin and Hobbes, just like probably every other person that likes comics. Spy versus Spy. Actually, I loved Spy versus Spy. And Get Fuzzy, which was a comic about a cat. That was definitely a favorite. So yeah, absolutely. I have like a bunch of comic books up on my bookshelf. They're definitely like the reason that I always liked comics. I drew comics like when I was a little kid too. They're not great, but
I thought they were really good. I got to see some of them.
Yeah, we found some the other day and it was pretty funny to see.
It's funny because she's had the same style since she was a kid. They all had the big, like, bubbly and eyes and everything back then. Like, there was a squirrel, I think, that had the big bubble eyes, right?
Yeah. I've always drawn, like, those little half eyes. I don't know. It's funny. But, yeah, Calvin and Hobbes is always, like, a huge favorite. I still, like, on the days that I'm not feeling very inspired, will go back and just, like, read some of his comics because they're just so... I don't know, they're so uplifting and so unique, and you just feel so like you know Calvin, even though you don't, and he's a fictional child. But big fan.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Calvin and Hobbes growing up too.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so this is a bit of a time warp question. What was it like when you printed your first book? Yeah.
That was actually crazy because we had never done anything like IRL before. We had posted the comics online and we knew that we had like a following, but we had no idea how it would translate to real life. So our first event was at a Barnes & Noble in New York, and we were like eating dinner and we were like, we'll just be happy if like 10 people show up. Like if 10 people show up, we'll be very happy. And then we went into the Barnes & Noble and there was a big escalator to get down to the lower floor. We started going down the escalator and there was a huge line, like huge, like through the store. And it still didn't click that like that was for the book. I literally turned to John and I was like, is that the checkout line?
I remember trying to like keep you calm, and I was like, yeah, sure, let's just go with that. That's the checkout line.
So that was very surreal. And it's funny because it just wasn't like expected. We ran out of books like very fast. I think we only had like 80 books
I think the store was really surprised.
Yeah, I think everyone was. There's just no way to gauge how well internet will go into real life. So yeah, we had to sign, like we were signing like random things for people. I felt so bad. But it was so much fun. I think about that all the time.
Definitely.
All right.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. It's not like either of us had ever done anything like that in our lives before. It's like, how do you prepare for something like that?
Right. Okay, I'm ready for another doodle.
He's gonna have his tongue out.
I know, I was going to, and then I changed my mind.
Oh, you're not doing it?
All right, I'll do it.
Murphy always has his tongue out. He falls asleep, and he has a really bad underbite, so his tongue just kind of like slides out of his mouth.
There you go.
The ideal. How do you choose which comics to post on Instagram as opposed to keeping them just for books?
For what?
So like, how do you pick between which comics you post on Instagram and which ones you save for publications?
Oh, okay. So I try to make sure that they're very similar because I know that people who like the book will want to see more on the internet, and people that like on the internet will want to see new ones in the book. So when I make comics when I know I'm making a book, I kind of try to make sure all my comics fit the theme of the book, but then I'll make like a bunch and just kind of put them, like I don't know how to explain it. I try to make sure that they're just consistent. It's hard to decide which ones go on the internet and which ones don't. I'm realizing
I feel like you just kind of know.
Yeah, you just kind of, as soon as I finish, I'm just like, okay, book, and you don't know, like, even while you're doing it necessarily what it's going to be, but as soon as you're done, it's like extremely clear which one you're going to send it to.
Yeah.
For what reason, I do not know. It's kind of funny.
From my outside perspective a little bit, like if you had the title and the theme like in Love and Pajamas, then like you'll just kind of make comics like you naturally would without like thinking about that theme, but then like if you realize it fits, you kind of like put it in there. If that makes sense. It just kind of like clicks, I guess.
But then there's also comics where like I know that I want it to, I don't know, it's just hard. I don't know how to explain it. That's a good question. That has me thinking. I don't know if I know the answer. You just know which ones are going to go in the book.
Go with your gut. Like
yeah,
whatever.
Right.
Yeah. We've gotten a bunch of requests for Hedwig from Harry Potter.
Ooh, that's a cute one. I'll definitely do that.
You can do it.
So this is funny. This is my second owl drawing too of this tour. Who would have guessed?
Yeah.
Yoda and owls are the consistent theme.
You got a little Murph here. He's awake.
Hi, buddy.
There we go. Here.
Hi.
We'll put Murph on the big cam for a second.
Yeah.
There you go, buddy. You want to
Look
say
at
hi
the camera. He's a funny boy.
He's a good boy.
Yep.
He's like, yes, pet. This is why.
He's very sleepy, if you can tell.
Yeah, he's very tired.
All right. We're going to make our owl holding on to a branch here.
He's so handsome.
He really is, right? He's got some gray in his face now.
Yeah.
Makes me happy.
He's very distinguished.
It is, right?
That's what I told him.
Yeah.
Do you and John have any goals for what is next for Catana Comics?
That's a good question. I think it would be very, very fun to a couple of things. I think it'd be really fun to have greeting cards in stores. We have some greeting cards that are like available like online through our shop, but I think it'd be so cool if one day you could like walk into Target and buy a Catana Comics card, and hopefully we would make them in a way that like you don't have to necessarily know the comics to like the card. I think that would be awesome. That was another hobby that I liked as a kid, was like making greeting cards. So so that would be awesome. I also think it would be awesome to be able to do animations, even if it wasn't like a full-fledged televised situation. I think it'd be awesome to be able to do even just like short animations. I have tried very hard to learn, and it's hard.
It's a lot of work.
It is.
Yeah.
If you ever see on our Instagram, sometimes we'll post like a 10 to 20-second animation that looks like I probably whipped it up very quickly. That took me like hours and hours and hours, and it still doesn't come out perfect. And I don't know if it just gets easier with practice or if I'm like missing something important. But yeah, I would love to be able to do like little animations. I think that'd be fun.
Everyone I know who does animation says it's an eternity and a half. So I don't
Oh,
think it's doing anything. Thank you.
doesn't get any easier.
It's just a very long, involved journey.
Uh-huh.
Are you and John doing anything special and socially distanced, of course, for Valentine's Day this weekend?
Good question.
Yeah, it's funny. We like just got talking about that because it really crept up on us this year.
Yep. We have a projector. We got a projector for Christmas, so we were thinking maybe we would set up like a movie night with a projector in our living room, right?
We've really been liking like making a whole like movie theater experience. Like we set up the projector, like make popcorn. We like look up previews on YouTube and play the little like movie theater intros and everything.
Yep.
So we're probably gonna get Jamaican food like we talked about.
Yeah.
And set all that up, and yeah, I think that's the plan.
Yeah.
Still gotta decide what to watch.
Yep. This is a very cartoonish Hedwig. I hope that's what people were expecting.
Oh, I didn't even pull up a reference photo for you.
No, I just went for it.
This one is a bit of a me question. Whose idea was it for stickers for the book?
Oh, that was actually we had stickers for our Target exclusive last year, and people were so excited about them and Target exclusive, and we were like, this should be a thing, like for all of the books, because people love the
I couldn't believe how much that.
Right.
You were just gonna say an elf quote.
I was about to quote, oh, the children love the stickers. But yeah, we were just like, after the response from the last book, we were like, we should put this in all the books if we can.
Yeah, people really liked it.
Yeah,
so
people really like them.
It's a fun little thing to add.
It is. So I hope you guys like them. I am too scared to like use them sometimes. Like, I'm lucky that I'm me and therefore own like a bunch of these books, because if I only owned like one copy, I'd be scared to like actually take a sticker out.
Oh yeah, I've always been that way.
Yeah.
I had sticker books as a kid, and you just transpose the stickers to another book. And
Yeah.
we have several questions on how the proposal happened.
Oh,
Ooh.
nice. I feel like that's your.
You want me to tell it?
I don't know. What do you think?
We could fill in parts as
Okay.
we each saw it.
Yeah. Okay.
So God, it feels like so long ago. We like to take a lot of like little weekend getaway trips. So I had planned a little weekend getaway trip to this Airbnb out like in the Smoky Mountains, right? And it's like kind of like way out there. And it was actually an old like church that somebody changed into an Airbnb. So it was really cool.
It was definitely haunted.
I didn't think of this at the time, but it was like right around Halloween, and it was just kind of like dark and spooky out. And we pulled up to it, and it's this like really dark church, and it like was way spookier than I thought it would be. I thought it was gonna be really cool.
It wasn't even Halloween. It was just Friday the 13th.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, you're right. It was Friday the 13th. So it was kind of spooky. We were like, all right, this is a little weird. And then like we got in and it was like all dark. We couldn't find the lights. So it was a little like creepy. But once we got it like lit up and everything, it was actually really beautiful. It was really cool.
Yeah.
It was all like big and open, and there was like a loft and everything. And that's right. Yeah, it wasn't near Halloween because we like to do our own like little Christmas, just us before with our families and everything. So we had brought like all the gifts that we wanted to give to each other and everything, and like had all that set up to do all that. Do you want to tell the second half of it, I guess?
So my biggest memory of that was we got there the first night and we were hanging out watching a movie, and Murphy was with us, of course, and Murphy just comes running over to us with like this toy thing in his mouth, and we were like, did you bring that? Like, right. I didn't bring that. And so we go over, we take it out of his mouth, and we're looking at it, and we're like, what is this? This doesn't look like a toy. And finally, like it hits John. He's like, this is rat poison. So we obviously panicked. He hadn't really eaten it or anything. He just carried it over in his mouth. But that we rushed to the nearest animal hospital. We threw Murphy at the people. We were like, he was carrying around rat poison.
Aww.
And it was just so sad. They took him back in their little room and they made him
bark.
do the thing. Yeah, and they hosed him off, and he was
so
fine. But he was so just sad and pitiful.
Tired.
And the next morning, John proposed.
Yeah, so that was the night before, and I was like, "Oh my God, Murphy's gonna ruin it! Like this is not gonna be good." I'm like worried about Murphy. I'm like worried about like what I'm gonna do with all the plans and everything.
Yeah.
So it was a little stressful, but it all worked out in the end.
It worked out.
It was nice. We got to be together.
Yep.
We had Murphy there with us.
It was
nice.
John's like last Christmas gift on our fake. It was fake Christmas morning.
Yeah,
we
were like exchanging gifts, and I was like, "Oh wait, I think I have like one more thing for you. Like close your eyes."
I totally blacked out.
Yeah, we both say that. We definitely both blacked out for a little bit there. Like a few minutes later, I was like, "Did I actually like asked you, right?" I was like, "I said the words."
Right.
I feel like I just like showed it to you, and like nothing else was said.
Right. Oh man, that was like over a year ago now. Like quite a bit over a year ago.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm also ready for another drawing.
Yay! We got a slew of requests for dragons.
Ooh, okay. I'm liking this whole like fantasy theme that we have going on
It's
in this
very
one.
cool.
All right, so
We also eventually at some point we got a couple requests for you to draw your favorite Pokemon.
favorite Pokemon.
Oh,
I already know the one I want to draw.
who do you want to draw?
I feel like I don't want to say it. I want to just start drawing it and see like if people recognize it.
That's a good idea.
But I'm gonna have to whisper it to you because I'm gonna need you to pull a picture.
I was gonna be impressed if you did your reference photo for it.
Let's see. Color. How do you feel about color in your comics, digitally, color in your work, things like that?
I'm not good with color. Like it's just like a problem that I have with myself. Like even when I do art that isn't the comics, I don't do it in color. I do it in ink, and just ink. So color has always been a very weak point for me. It's just not my strong suit. So if I ever got to a place where I was comfortable drawing in color, then I might start doing some comics here and there in color.
I feel like you're a little harsh on yourself. I feel like at first maybe you didn't do as much color stuff, but then you've been doing more on the side, I want to say, and it all looks really good.
It's gotten a little bit better because of the wallpapers that I do. Every once in a while, we'll put out like a free wallpaper on Instagram, and it kind of forces me to draw in color, and it's good because it's good practice for me. So that's definitely made me a little bit better. I didn't leave him any room for his fire. It's kind of firing at Baby Yoda.
So this is just the dragon, not your Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure.
You're like, what Pokemon?
I just wanted to check.
Would you do a whole book about Murph or pet encounters in general? Because in your strips, you talk a lot about pets and remembering pets' names, but not people's names.
Yep. I think that'd be awesome, actually.
I would be all for that.
Yeah. We made a joke a couple years ago that, because our first book is called Little Moments of Love, we were like, one day we'll make a book called Little Moments of Momo, which is what we call our dog. And I think that'd be awesome. I think that...
I definitely think it would be. I feel like you get annoyed with me because anytime she's like, oh, like, what do you think about this? Or like anytime she wants an idea or whatever, it always revolves around Murphy for me.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, John, you have any comic ideas for me? And he's like, all right, picture this. Murphy.
There's been a lot of votes for a coloring book too, so.
Oh, that'd be really
That'd be
fun.
really cool,
And then
yeah.
you guys can do the coloring for me because I'm not great at it.
You have so many comics about naps.
Yeah.
Has your daily nap count increased during quarantine?
I would say
Actually,
for me, it has.
for you, for sure.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know because a lot of my naps are taken because of social responsibilities. Like I'll go grocery shopping and then I'll take a nap. But now we like don't do anything. Like if anything, I'll do a grocery pickup or a grocery delivery.
Doesn't really deserve a nap.
So yeah, I feel like I don't like earn my naps anymore. But rest assured, we are still extremely lazy. It's not in and out.
I've always been a big fan of naps. I can do a power nap. I can get like 10 minutes in here and there wherever I need to.
John's a bigger napper, but he's good at like enticing me to come nap with him. You're definitely converting me.
Make you stop working, take a nap instead.
Right. All right. I have to whisper to you my favorite Pokemon so you can give me a picture.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
I feel like a lot of people will know.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say that.
We have one that is, can John draw?
I am not capable of drawing, if that was the question.
But you should draw.
I could attempt to draw something.
Can you go back?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
John
should draw.
I could certainly try to draw something.
You should fill out this one that's a little space.
I could try to do a little something. In general, I am very bad at drawing, though. If that was the not sure if the question is, will you draw or can you draw?
And then I guess we're getting towards the end, so I'll just ask one more question.
Okay.
It's another. How do you stay creative during quarantine?
That's a good question. Again, I think it's important to like not stress yourself out too much during quarantine and during all of this. This is just such like I'm sure you guys have heard the word unprecedented like way too many times, but it's such like an unprecedented thing that we're going through, and it is hard to stay like super motivated and super, whatever that word is, just like ready to go. So I think that it's important to like not be too hard on yourself right now, and I try not to let myself be too hard on myself either because it's just hard. It's hard. We're used to going out and getting inspired and like doing things and all that jazz.
It's a huge change.
It is. It's a big change. But to get inspired, I often find that I need to just stop using my phone or listening to podcasts or music or TV or anything. And I need to just sit down with absolutely nothing happening around me and just think and like allow myself to actually have my own thoughts instead of
total
just
seclusion.
Right? Because I'm always listening to podcasts or TV or music or like
I feel like you'll just go take a bath and like shut out the world for a while to go recharge.
I'm always shocked. I'm like, I can have music on and think of ideas, and then I like no ideas are coming to me, and I'll be like, well, maybe I should try just not. And every time I do that, it's just so much easier. So highly recommend the pure isolation method if you're someone like me. Also, I hope that you guys can all see that we have ditto.
I was going to say, it seems like most people guessed it. Catana is a sucker for that kind of like sort of derpy face, which is why I knew she was going to choose ditto.
Oh, yeah.
Ditto is so beautiful, though.
Right.
Protect him at all costs. So I still have some open spaces left on our doodle sheet, but I'll go through the chat and kind of pick out some more tonight.
Got some little bonus ones in there.
Yeah, so after we hang up, I'll keep drawing some of the drawing requests that are in the chat.
This is like her dream to just have unlimited requests of things to draw. She's constantly asking like just for random things to draw.
It is, yeah. like just sitting here and drawing and like rambling is like my perfect night. So should we do our?
Yep.
Oh,
perfect.
sorry. Yes, perfect.
Oh, sorry. Thank you so much, Katana and John. It's been such a fun hour. I think the audience is getting ready to kill me for ending it. But I figured we could announce our winners before we head out for the evening.
Yeah, definitely.
Good. So for the Katana gift box or influencer box, the winner is Benjamin Dutch.
Woo, Benjamin Dutch!
Woo! The winner of the live drawing is Misty Beecham.
Ooh.
Congratulations. Hope you like ditto.
Yeah, I know, right?
And then the winner of the free book is Frida Lee.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Yay. Awesome.
So, I don't know. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining us. It was an incredible evening.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And also thank you to Strand for having us. This is this is awesome. Yeah.
It's a lot of fun to do.
It really is.
It really stinks that we can't all like be together in person, but this is like a lot of fun.
This is like easily up there with like something like a live event because we're just like hanging out with you guys. So thank you.
That note, thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of your night.
Thank you, guys.